Hey everybody, good evening. It is Saturday night at 7 o'clock Central Standard Time. As promised, I am going live twice today. This is my second project of the day. So it's going to be a little different. Well, I've done a little bit of this before, but it's very large, so it's going to take up a lot of the space on my table. It'll take a few minutes, but not too terribly long. As you guys jump on, please send me a message and let me know that you're here. Let me get myself pulled up on the screen here. Um, anyway, I hope you guys had a good day. I have been busy nonstop, going since early this morning. But I've enjoyed every bit of it, trying to get some work done, some things I've been procrastinating on, and just things I really needed to get knocked out. So here's what we are going to do. Hey, Leah. Hey, Dee. So a while back, a couple of years ago, I bought both of my daughter-in-laws a sign exactly the same. If I'm remembering correctly, I got them at Michael's, and I thought they were super cute. They were on sale, so I picked up both girls one. I may give it to them for Christmas. Hey, Jennifer. It is good to see you again too, or see your name anyway. Um, so this is what the sign looked like. It says "Love rules." Kiss good morning, listen, basically rules for the household, for the wife and husband or whatever. Super cute. I got it really cheap. The price on the back says $30, but I can guarantee I paid a lot less than that, probably 10, 8, 10, $12. But I did not notice, and you probably don't notice right now either, but once you hang this sign on the wall, all the words are crooked. Can you see this line is lower on this end than it is here? It's not very obvious to the eye right now, but hanging on your wall, walk out of the room and walk back in and look at it, it would drive you crazy. It drove us crazy. And so therefore, one of my daughters, hey Heather, hey Mom, hey Kim, hey Joan, one of my daughters gave me her sign back. And it didn't bother me at all because it was crooked, and it bothered her to see it crooked. And she said, hey, can you repurpose this? So that's what I'm going to do tonight. This is probably my ruler. Guessing right at 2 feet tall and 13 inches wide. So pretty good size. But I'm going to repurpose it. We're going to get rid of these words. They're smooth. You can't feel them at all. Hey, Brenda. Hey, Lisa. Remember, you guys, the contest is still going on. Not contest, but the drawing is for comments. That includes when you sprinkle the video, comment and say that you sprinkled. And I am giving away either this completed project tonight or the heart completed project. Let me reach and get it. I got something else off. Or the heart completed project from this morning. So that'll be your choice. But the drawing will be after this video is over. We'll tally everything up, and then I'll go live again before I go to bed tonight and tell you who won. Hey, Nene. So Shannon just said, yes, I notice it every time I look at it. Thank you, Brenda, for sprinkling. So Shannon is one of my daughter-in-laws that got this sign. And it is crooked. So Shannon, after I fix this one, if you want me to fix yours and repurpose it, I can. So the first thing I'm going to do, first of all, let me show you something. Also on this side, and I did not notice in the store, you see that big crack right there? And even the sign is not put in here straight. So I'm going to fix that. Not fix it like take it apart, but I'm going to camouflage it. So I just want to show you that too. So I'm going to start off by taping off my frame because the surface is almost flush with the frame, and I really don't want to get any paint on there. You guys know that I'm a messy painter and messy crafter. Can never trust me. Thank you, Leah. Thank you, Brenda. So I'm going to use some painter's tape, tape off the edges. I'm going to paint over these words. And then I'm going to make a new sign right on top. Give me just a minute and I'll show you everything we're going to be using tonight. I can get that on there. Okay. So I'm going to safely cover all of these edges. Okay, so I'm using this sign. I'm going to be using some jute. That is what I'm going to camouflage those cracks with. I'm actually going to run this jute all the way around between the frame and the actual board itself. I'm going to use my famous burlap. I have some super thin twine and beads. What else am I using? I'm also going to be using chalk couture tonight. Hey, Brian. Thank you for sprinkling. Tell Macy that Nani loves her too, Shannon. So a couple of days ago, I was doing a live. Some of you may have been here and seen some of the comments, but a sweet friend of mine asked me if I still use chalk couture products and if I sold them. I don't normally try to sell the products. I use them for my own business, but I haven't been using them very much in my crafts because I felt like I wanted to make sure that everything I did would be something that was easy for you, the viewer, to go out and to take inspiration from and create something yourself. But I thought if I'm holding back chalk couture, which is my passion, then I'm really not sharing everything I have to share. So I'm using chalk couture tonight. Some of you guys have seen me do this, but just not very often. This is my stencil or my transfer. It says, in this kitchen, we count memories, not calories. So that's what this sign is going to be. And it's going to have some cute fattening items at the bottom of the sign too. So I'll be using that, and I'll be using black chalk couture paste. I'm sticking with black monochromatic because I want this to be a farmhouse sign and not be really colorful. Okay, so those are my elements. Hey, Patsy. Okay, so let me get started with my paint. I'm going to start by painting the entire background white. Actually, I'm not going to use the plate right now. It's not going to cover all of these words in one coat because you know white never covers black very good. It'll take a couple of coats, but not very long. You like that transfer, Jennifer? I thought the words were right up the alley for pretty much everybody coming off of Christmas and Thanksgiving and New Year's celebrations and all that. I thought that was very fitting. And you know, when you have people to share your kitchen with and share your home with, you don't want to have to be worrying about counting the calories. If you cook good food for people, then you just want to enjoy the people, the company, and the food. Not saying that we should be that way all the time. I'm just saying that sometimes the sign fits. Okay, I'm just giving this a rough coat, rough work. I really appreciate all you guys coming back and being with me tonight, and the newbies out there too. Don't forget, as you're watching, to sprinkle the video so your friends can watch too. Even if they can't watch live, they can watch the replay later if they see that you've sprinkled. Sprinkling means S-H-A-R-E. Okay, I may have put way too much paint for the first coat. Sometimes I get overzealous. It does have some little holes. Hey, Mom. Thank you for sprinkling, but I will leave my mother and my daughter-in-laws out of the drawing. I don't think it would be very fair. Somebody might think it's rigged. Thank you, Joan. Hi, Dawson. Leah, I never get to see Dawson up close and personal, it seems. So this may be the only way he learns who I am. I'm taking off a lot of this excess paint because I put way too much on. I must have thought I was using Mod Podge or something. So for the first coat, it's actually covering pretty good. I think it looks better to you guys there than it does to me, though, because I'm a lot closer to it. Now, this is craft paint. It is Apple Barn paint from Walmart. So it's just an acrylic paint, and it dries super fast. I can see in the light some of it's already drying now. Trying to have all my brush strokes go in the same direction. And I will have to, after I get this all painted, I will have to do a light sand coat or sanding and then wipe that top coat off of the actual sawdust or sand or whatever you want to call it, paint dust. I'll just use a damp cloth for that and let it dry so I can put my transfer on. Hey, Donna. Good to have you with us. I'm sure you recognize my studio room that I'm sitting in. Shannon. Shannon is saying that that my drawings are totally rigged. They're really not. She's saying that because a friend of hers has won a couple of times. Okay, let me lay this down. I'm going to blow dry real fast, but I want to show you so you can still see the words. But it's covering pretty good, but it'll take a couple of coats. Turn it on low. Hey, Laura. Thank you for joining us tonight. This won't take very long. So you guys, we had to go to Walmart today. Lowe's, Walmart, to my mom's house to help her with something, and running all over like crazy. Let me tell you, the Walmart line was forever long. I don't usually complain, but we stood in line a few minutes and I needed to go into the Dollar Tree, so I left Mark in line. Brenda, the drawings are not rigged, I promise. Anyway, we stood in line for a few minutes, and I still needed to go to Dollar Tree. So I left Mark in line. I drove the car up to the Dollar Tree that's in the same shopping plaza. I went in, made my purchases, got back down to Walmart, circled the parking lot 3 or 4 times, found a parking spot, texted him, told him where I was parked at, all while he was still in line. He had just got to the register. So that tells you how our shopping adventure went today. Brenda said the Raiders. That's because Raider girls have won a couple of drawings. She thinks it's rigged. Okay, that's pretty good. Let me do a second coat. I'll try not to put way too much on. But I might. You can't never tell. But I want to be fast, so I get in a hurry and I want to rush things along, so I dump that paint on. I'm just going to sit here and smile while my viewers are having a little fuss back and forth. It's all in good fun. I promise my drawings are not rigged, but some people do just seem to be lucky. I'm thinking you need to be entering the Publishers Clearinghouse, Leah. I don't even know how you enter it. Oh, pch.com. I remember seeing it on TV now. So enter the clearinghouse and win some money and share it with all your friends. Okay, this is coating pretty good. Actually, I didn't get it good and dry, and I'm peeling the paint up. Okay, I'm going to have to not rush it. Leah is very lucky. She really is. Hey, Aunt Carol. Say hi to me, Aunt Carol. So, Joan, based on your comment, you said I won one time before tonight. Does that mean that you're insinuating that you're going to win tonight? Let me get this dry. I think I just rushed it a little bit, you guys. I'm trying not to take up too much of your evening. So painting that second coat, I started to peel up some of the spots. I need to just take my time and sit here and let it dry the right way. Hey, Anna. Hey, Anna, look what I'm doing. Anna, you missed it earlier, but I told them that one of my daughter-in-laws gave me a sign that I had given to her to repurpose because the words on it were crooked. This is that sign. So I'm just covering up all the words right now. And I'm going to make it a kitchen sign. Of course, I'm already spilling paint, dripping paint. So that's what we're working on. Oh, let me do it on high just for a minute, okay? I'll come right back to you guys. I love all of the Reddit going on now. Jennifer said the Raider girls need to give somebody else a chance to win. So I'll tell you a funny story. I'm letting this dry. So one of my friends, after the drawing the other night, when I went live and did a drawing, one of my friends texted me and told me that when I pulled the name out of the bowl, I had a look of relief on my face because not that I didn't want a Raider to win, but that I didn't want everybody to think that it was a rigged race. So anyway, I'm gonna have to work on my game face and try to act. I don't know, not have my face be so easily read, I guess. But I didn't want anybody to think it was rigged. And if I had pulled a Raider out, like 3 or 4 times in a row, somebody might have started questioning me. Isn't that right, Brenda? Leah, in all honesty, I really kind of was. Not that I didn't want you to win, but and it was a cute saying. The house rules on this sign. It was a cute saying, but yes, it being crooked would drive anybody crazy. That's what Shannon says. It she sees it every time she looks at it. That her sign is crooked. But that just goes to show you guys that even when you buy something at a big box store, I've been saying this. When you get them home, if you look at your products, you're going to see things, imperfections, and they're machine made. They should be perfect, but that doesn't mean that's the case. And that's how these were. They were machine made, but they were had flaws for sure. Hi, Ryder. Nani loves you. Oh, Joan, that was sweet. You gave your prize away. I remember. I remember what you won. Trying to cover up where I was peeling the paint up accidentally. Okay, so I this has got two coats, and I don't know if you guys can tell. Probably not, but I can. You can still see the words a little bit. I know you can't tell on the computer. But I am actually going to add a couple more colors. This is antique parchment, just a light cream. And this one is khaki. And I'm just going to add a little bit of this on top. It seems to me when you're trying to cover dark words with a light color that it works better if you put layers of color on. Now, I did not rinse out my brush. This is the same brush that I had the white on. Should have got my water bottle. And I'm just going to add some streaks, and then I'm going to go back with the white again on top of this and blend it, and it will help take away the shadows of that word, the wording underneath. It really just, it almost tricks your eye a little bit. But while it's wet, I'm going to go back in with some white. Sometimes I will use my spray bottle of water to wet it, but I did not bring it down here to the table. I'm just laughing at all the comments. I'm so glad that you guys are enjoying the comment contest. Hey, LaDonna. Oh, Ryder loves Nani. It's my sweet baby. So, how is everybody spending their Saturday evening? Just sitting and binge watching craft videos, or what are you guys up to tonight besides this? Anything special going on? Joan says she's eating a meatloaf sandwich. I am not a meatloaf person for sure. Okay, you guys, this is looking pretty good. I can't wait to hold it up and show you what I've got. But I just need to blend it all a little bit better. And now for sure you cannot see these words. A lot of times, gray is my favorite color to blend with. But because this frame was such a light wood, and I'm going to use beads that are about the same color as the frame, and I'm going to use a burlap bow, I thought that I would distress and blend in the tan colors instead. But this blending is also part of the reason I'm going to have to go back and sand. When you use chalk couture products, the transfers or the stencils, you have to make sure you have a super smooth surface, and these brush strokes are not exactly what it needs. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. Now, you guys, it's still wet, and it will dry. These spots will blend in a little bit lighter once it dries. A couple I can fix. Okay, so let me dry it real quick. Get rid of my paint. Hey, Scatty. It sounds like a fun evening. Hey, Melanie. Jennifer says she's been reading a book and there's a football game going on. Actually, Mark is upstairs right now. He is watching football, and he's also watching the live, and he is keeping up with all the comments. So if your name doesn't get drawn out of the hat tonight or out of the bowl tonight, you have to blame him, not me. He's putting everybody in. You do go into the drawing one time for every single comment, regardless of what the comment is. Just wanted to remind you guys of that. Um, but also, don't forget to be sprinkling the video along. I would appreciate that. Hey, Natalie. Thank you for sprinkling. You can't see the words. Oh, okay, Jennifer, I'm sorry. I was so confused. At first, I thought you meant closed captioning. Now I understand you mean the words on here. I do have it covered. But is there closed captioning? Hey, Angie. Maddox, I got crazy. A docu-series about ballet does not sound super interesting. It's not. I'm sorry. Which part was good to know, Heather? That your name goes in for each comment? Okay, I'm glad the captions are there. Okay, I think it's pretty dry, but I'm not quite ready to start with my stencil yet. Here's the stencil in case you didn't see it earlier, because in this kitchen we count memories, not calories. Okay, while that is sitting, it's cooling off. I'm going to leave it alone for a minute. I want to talk to you quickly about chalk couture in case some of you don't know. Chalk couture is a transfer or a stencil. I just laid that down on there and it peeled the paint up. Hold on. I might have got the board too hot. Then I touched plastic to it. Wouldn't you know I would make another mess tonight. Hey, thank you, Paula. How big is your sign that you need repurposed, Brenda? What's big? Hey, Corey. Anna. I just don't even have any words. Anna said she always wanted to be a ballerina when she was little, but she could never even walk a straight line. The reason I'm laughing is because anybody who knows me knows that I have the biggest klutz. When I was a child, I had a broken right hand 3 school years in a row. Different bones. Okay, I have to go back and fix a little hot mess here. So what I did is I had that plastic in my hand and I touched it to the board while it was warm from the blow dryer and it peeled up the paint. And I think you know what? I'm not, yes, I am. Not positive what I'm going to do right now. I am going to go back and talk to you about chalk couture though in just a minute. Okay, now I'm going to leave that alone. Okay, so chalk couture is a stencil company or a transfer company. Let me tell you why they're different. Most stencils you get, you lay them down. They may or may not be sticky backed. Some of them now do have a little stickiness to them, or you have to use a stencil spray to make it adhere. But chalk couture stencils are transfers are not actually stencils. They're called transfers. But what it is, you know what? I'm gonna cut this apart first so I don't have to hold up the big one. I can show you a small one. What it is like a silk screen. In the place of dabbing a dauber over your words or your opening on a regular old stencil, on this one it actually has a screen that allows your paint or your paste to go through. It's a lot less headache than a regular transfer, or I'm sorry, a regular stencil. Just works easier, and they are reusable over and over. I've used some. They say it's like 15 to 20 times or 15 to 18 times. But I have used, that one goes, stays together. I have used some of my stencils or my transfers 30, 40, 50 times, and they still work. So this one is a piece of cake, literally a piece of cake. Hey, Becky, thank you for joining us. So I'm going to hold this up to do you see that? See how you can see my wrist through that piece of cake on that transfer? It's actually a screen, like a silk screen. So when I rub my paint across the top of it, the paint goes through the screen, and once it's stuck down, it should not bleed. Occasionally there is some bleeding, but not very often. It is sticky back, and it's reusable. So you literally just wash the screen, put it back on the slick that it came off of, and then you're ready to use it again. So they're reusable. Um, and this is what I use to make almost all of my farmhouse signs. If I've sold a sign, if you guys have seen my signs in a store anywhere, then this is probably the product that I used. And these are available. I can order for you if you'd like to try any of them. But actually, um, Hobby Lobby actually has a few transfers similar to this, not Chalk Couture, but a different brand. I think there's a Martha Stewart brand. No, the Martha Stewart brand is at Michael's. I can't think of the brand at Hobby Lobby, but they'll have, like, my store in Murfreesboro has maybe 4 or 5 of this type of transfer that it's actually got the silk screen in it, and I bought those. The sticky is not quite as good. They don't re-stick as well, but they're definitely reusable, and they're definitely something worth trying. So if you're a stencil person and you're a little nervous, or not a stencil person, and you're nervous to try, if you'll start out with this type of stencil, a transfer, you might do better to start off. So just a little bit of tidbit of information there. Okay, let me feel. Try this one spot that I fixed. I think it's because I put so many layers of paint on. Pull off my painter's tape. I love painter's tape. Love it. Yeah, Angie, they really are neat. They're super easy to use. Hey, Renee. Good to see you. Okay, I'm going to try to sand this a little bit. I need it super smooth. I'm going with the grain, it's not really a grain, but my paintbrush strokes. Go in the same direction. And I just want to get those brush strokes out so it's really smooth. And then I will wipe it off with a damp cloth. And I'm just using a sanding block. Okay. You can just kind of feel it. It feels pretty good. Perfect. Okay, I'm going to take my damp cloth, get all the dust wiped off. Perfect. Okay, so there it is. My distressed board. It's a little bit damp. Now, I'm sure you guys have noticed this is not nearly as big as my board is. But that's okay because I'm going to put this in the middle and then I'm going to decorate with the beads at the top. And then I will have the space at the bottom to put my my pieces of cake and my other little decorative things. So I want to make sure I'm doing this correct, Joan. I want to make sure that I don't have it upside down like I did this morning because there are hooks. So it has two sawtooth hooks on this end. That's the top. The top will be on my left. Excuse me. It is acrylic paint, just regular craft paint. Apple barrel. Apple barrel. Excuse me, you guys, I'm sorry. This cough, this tickle in my throat is about to drive me insane. Hey, Steve Jane Jones. Thank you for joining us tonight. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to put this closer to the middle. My beads are going to drape like this across the top. There'll be a bow in the middle up here. So that's going to decorate the top. And then I'm going to put my pieces of cake. Actually, I think just the cake. I've got an ice cream cone, a cupcake, and a piece of cake. And then just some little love hearts. So I think I'm going to put these across the bottom. Not sure what order. I do have all different colors of the chalk paste. Here's my chalk couture paste. But I'm only going to use black tonight. I want this to be a simple farmhouse sign. Okay, so this is a brand new transfer. And I have to make sure that it does not fold and touch itself because if one part of the sticky sticks to the other part, it's almost impossible to get it apart. You're supposed to fuzz these. So the idea is to get some lint on the back of the transfer. You can use a towel is what you're supposed to use. I always just use my shirt. Believe me, I have enough hair on my shirt to fuzz the back of a transfer. Thank you, Joan. Yeah, Jennifer, it dries super fast. And most of the time, I don't even have to blow dry. I just did tonight because I had several coats of paint and I'm using a transfer. So I wanted to make sure it was good and dry. And Angie, no, Walmart does not carry this. Walmart does not carry any chalk paste at all. This is, I'll show you the consistency in a minute. This is different than chalk paint. It's chalk paste. Can't really explain the difference, except that this is not a permanent color. Um, you can scrub this off of a surface if you try, unless you seal it. I'm not going to seal this piece because it's an indoor piece, but I'll explain more of that to you in a minute. Okay, so I'm just going to get this centered. It looks like this board is even more crooked than I thought. I told you there was enough hair on here to fuzz it. Let me turn it to myself for a second. I do everything by the way it looks. I don't usually measure anything. And I think this board's even more crooked than what I knew. Well, having a hard time. If you guys hear a beeping noise, I'm afraid it might be loud because my hearing is diminished right now. And I can hear a beeping noise, so that makes me think it's super loud. But I tested my oven on self-timer so I could cook lunch tomorrow while we're at church services. I'd never used a timer before, and the timer's going off. Okay, so you just stick it down. Let me show you, and then it'll peel back up when I'm finished. Okay. All right, here's the chalk paste. This is black. It's actually called black velvet. This is the consistency. It's kind of gloopy. It's supposed to be the consistency of a thick cake batter or a good cake batter. This one's a little thick. It could be watered down, but I don't think it's too thick to use. But when you use chalk paste, like I said earlier, it's not permanent. After it dries really good, you can touch it, you can rub over it. It's not going to come off. But if you scraped with your thumbnails really hard, you might be able to flake some of it off. Or if you wet a washcloth and laid it on there for a few minutes and scrubbed, you'd probably be able to get it off. It's not a permanent paint like chalk paint. So the idea behind this is not the way I use it, but the way the company intended for it to be used is you use these on chalkboards. Now, I know this is black, and that wouldn't show up on a black chalkboard, but I've got all different colors in the rainbow. If you put it on a chalkboard or a chalk surface, then you just wash it off when you're tired of that design and put another design on. But that's not what I do. I usually make these permanent. So you literally just get some on a squeegee and you rub it across the surface. Wish that would quit beeping. And now you can see the words that are left behind. It looks like it may peel up some of my paint behind there. Hope that's funny. Actually, I have a rolling pin transfer, but it's not in here. Actually, it's very small though, and it's outside in the garage because I still do not have all of my chalk couture. I don't have any of my chalk couture stencils in the house yet. I've got most of my crafting stuff, but my actual work items I don't have all in the house yet. Most of you know, some of you may or may not know, we have only been in this house about 5 weeks, maybe 6 weeks. We moved in Thanksgiving Day, or that was the first day we stayed here. And of course, we've been sick and had Christmas and had New Year's and had a family trip and all this kind of stuff. So it's been hard to get everything organized and in the house where I need it. Okay, got it all covered. There you go. Let me hold it up and show you guys what I've got. Isn't that cute? Now, it actually did lift up my paint a little bit in some spots, but it really just kind of made it look more distressed. It is super cute. Okay, now I'm going to put, well, I think this is the rest of this circle. It's supposed to be the decorative thing at the bottom. Let me put it on. Where I'm throwing things. No, I don't like it. I'm not really sure about this piece. I think this was supposed to be the rest of, and you see this was a kind of like two circle lines. They kind of look like eyes to me. I think they were supposed to be the bottom design to these two lines down here, but I think it looks kind of silly. So I'm not going to use it. That's the other thing about chalk couture transfers is that you can mix and match. Take pieces from one transfer and use it with another, just like I said a minute ago that I have a rolling pin outside. But I don't have to use them all together. I can use it however I want. Okay, my piece of cake. Try to decide where I want these. I'm going to use a piece of cake. I've got a cupcake. Because remember, we're not counting the calories on these things. We'll put the cupcake over here, I think. And then I've got some hearts. I think the hearts are just going to add a little cuteness to it. I'm going to put them right in the middle. So I think that's where everything is going. Okay, there's my cake. Now, I'm doing these all in black. I want this to be very monochromatic. I don't want a bunch of color. Tan, black, white. That's it. Oh, how cute. Isn't that cute? Okay, so that's all of my painting. That's all I have to do for that. You can see this is already dry at the top. These will be dry in just a minute. Thank you, Ruth. Hey, Tracy, thank you for joining us. I know that feeling, Angie. I know the feeling. I thought this was just a cute, fun sign for our kitchen, especially coming off the holidays. Okay, so what I'm going to do is fix these cracks. You see this one is the one that had the big crack right here. It's got a big gouge. It was like that when it was bought. I wish the oven would quit beeping. It's driving me crazy. But I'm going to actually just take some hot glue and run it along the seam and glue this down. Uh, I use jute for this a lot when I'm repurposing a frame. Sometimes I get paint on the edge and I don't want it to show. Then I literally just cover it with a piece of jute. Well, not right now because I don't even have my hot glue gun on. Okay, I'll go to that in a minute. Okay, let me do my beads. I'm telling you guys, this has been a day. Okay, I've got two different size beads. I've got these little ones. And then I've got, show you which ones I want to use. I've got this size and I've got this size. And I think I'm going to do a pattern a small one, then 3 bigger ones, and a small one, and 3 bigger ones, and so on. And I'm going to drape it across the top and glue it down when the hot glue gets caught. And I'm using a really fine jute for this. The jute that will go around the edge is a lot thicker. So I've got 2 different sizes. This one is what I will actually string these beads with. It usually goes in the hole pretty quick or pretty easy. My beads are getting away from me. Might need to wait for the hot glue gun after all. Okay, you guys are going to have to talk to me for a minute because I got to let that glue gun heat up. I think 7 o'clock on Saturday night after a long day. Maybe too late for me to craft. Y'all remember my bedtime's 9:15. Sometimes earlier than that. Yeah, so I just need the hot glue gun. Even this super thin jute, I need to put a piece of hot glue on the end of it so it will feed through my jute easier. And right now, you guys, if my husband wasn't upstairs watching football, he would have my volume turned on and he could hear me. And he would come running down here and bring me anything I needed. He'd bring me some tape to go on the end of this. Oh, here he is. Magically, he showed up. Tape out of the drawer. When you work in your house and your spouse works in the same house and you're always together, then you never have any secrets for sure. I just need a piece of tape because my hot glue gun's not hot. So he magically showed up. Heather, I'm excited about the Creators Club too. I really am. And Joan, how do you guys stay up? How do you stay up till midnight? Even on Saturday night, you stay up till midnight? I have to sleep, you guys. I require sleep. Um, we're probably out, actually. You guys, I'm a hot mess tonight. Hot mess. He's got to go all the way upstairs now to find me a piece of tape. I just happened to think I sent him to the junk drawer in the kitchen, and I think we used all the tape on Christmas gifts. Mark to the rescue. Mark is always to the rescue. I don't know how I would get through a day. Look, I'm trying to butter him up now. I don't know how I would get through a day without his help. But that is the truth. Of course, by the time he gets down here, the hot glue gun may be. Nope, it's not hot yet. It's getting there. Adani is better than I am. I don't know. He gets up at 5. He goes to bed at midnight, gets up at 5, and preaches with no sleep. I cannot do that. Now, Mark goes to bed about 2, 1:30, 2, 2:30, and he gets up at, thank you, he gets up at 7:30 usually. So if it's 2:30 he goes to bed, then that's just 5 hours sleep, and he does that every day. I can't do it. Huh? I was testing the preheat, just turn it off. Now he could turn off the beeping noise. It had to be super loud because I could actually hear it. Okay, so I just wrapped a piece of tape all the way around that end, and now it will feed through my beads, hopefully. Sorry about that delay, you guys. Y'all are gonna quit. You're gonna quit being here. Now, Joan, that makes more sense if you sleep in the recliner. But you know, those hours in the recliner don't count. I don't think they count. Okay, so I'm doing a pattern of 3 big ones and then 1 small one. Now I'll move right along. I can't hear you, babe. So some of you may not know, I seriously have a serious hearing loss right now. It has to be related to this sickness that I've had for 9 weeks now. Um, I go to the ENT on Monday, but when I tell you I cannot hear, I mean I cannot hear. So I'm glad that Facebook does not require me to have to hear. I could do my job and not have any volume at all. That's why I knew when I could hear beeping from that oven, it had to be beeping really loud. Okay, I'm thinking I need to keep going. Um, just to kind of give you an idea, your television volume, you have your numbers that tells you how loud you've got your volume set on the TV. The TV upstairs is a brand new TV, and it is super loud, even without a sound bar on. It's really, really loud. When we first got it, 8. That's the number that we would listen to it on, okay? 8, and it would almost vibrate the walls. It was really loud. Most of the time, I'm begging Mark to turn the TV down, no matter what room we're in or what we're watching, because it bothers me to have it too loud. I got up early this morning, went up there, and I put it on like 24 to be able to hear it. The living room TV, normally about 30, and I'm listening to it in the 70s, and I still can't make out all the words. Jennifer, I think you and I are on about the same sleep schedule. Okay. Now, when I was at home, I was a mama and had kids at home. My kids were growing up, and I worked outside of the home to support them. Then it was different. I still went to bed early, but I couldn't sleep. Did not sleep well. Okay, I need it longer than that. I kind of know what I want it to look like. I want it to kind of look like a drape with a bow in the middle and then drape again. So there were many nights I was awake, at 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. And sometimes if I was working overtime, I was a manager of a department. If I had my employees on overtime, then I had to be on overtime too. And I'd be getting up at 4:30 in the morning. And I would have gone to sleep like at 3. But not anymore. I hope I get answers at the ENT office too, Jennifer. I'm really, really, really nervous. I don't know what they're going to say. I mean, I know it's all in God's hands. I'll just pray about it, but it's hard to go from being a hearing person. I'm talking to somebody who doesn't have hearing, um, but it's hard to go from being a hearing person to non-hearing pretty much overnight. Well, it was overnight. Okay, I'm just kind of measuring this. I think that's about what I want. Maybe one more set, and then that'll be done. 3 more of these. So the worst part about the hearing, not the worst part, but something that really hit me hard, I'm going to try not to cry, but hit me hard yesterday. I had Mom's eating ice cream. Yesterday, I had my 3-year-old granddaughter during the day, and she was in a really good mood. Now, Macy, when she's not in a good mood, she's loud. But she was in such a good mood, and she was being so sweet. And she just talked to me so nice all day, but I realized I couldn't hear any of her words. So that was pretty disheartening. I don't know. That was the first time I had thought about if my hearing doesn't can't be corrected, if they can't tell me what's wrong or whatever. What if I can't hear my granddaughter? And it's just different people. Their voices are different. So you guys, I'm just hot gluing this on each corner where the white meets the brown frame. Hey, Diana. Just putting a little dab of hot glue and sticking my jute right to it. But anyway, that was pretty disheartening to think that what if I can't start hearing her? What if I can only hear her when she's upset? And when she's in a bad mood, she's in a bad mood. That's just the way it is. She's a girl. And she's louder then. But I want to hear her when she's nice and sweet. But I had a little cry. And then Mark told me to just wait, get over it until we know what's going on. And hopefully that will be on Monday. Okay, so I think this is what I'm going to do. And I know it kind of looks silly right now, but I'm going to put a bow at the top right here in the middle. And that's going to be my decoration. And I'm basically just going to glue down this one bead right smack in the middle. So it's kind of draped like a curtain. And I better check it to make sure that's the middle. I was looking at it sideways. Okay, let that dry. I'm going to make my bow, and then I'm going to go back and put that jute around the edge, and then we'll be finished. I promise. This is going to be a simple bow. It was very disheartening, Angie. It was rough. Anybody who knows me knows how much I love my grandbabies, and all 5 of them, and the thought of not hearing one of them. But I haven't had that problem with the boys, even the babies. Owen, I can hear him. I can hear Ryder just fine. Not just fine. I mean, I can hear him. When I say I couldn't hear Macy, I mean I could not hear her words. Part of the time she would talk to me and I would just nod like I knew what she was saying, but I really didn't, because and it stressed her. If I kept saying, "What? Tell me again," then that stressed her out. So I finally just quit asking her what. So what I've done is made a little loop bow, put an extra piece at the back that's longer than the bow. That'll be my tails that hang down. Flip it upside down and tie it with a piece of jute. But, excuse me, different people, it's a different tone of voice, and different people I can hear better. That I can get what they're saying if I concentrate, but not everybody. Okay, then I just twist that part down. I'll have to cut these tails off. We'll glue it right to the top. I'm going to wait. I'm going to glue my jute down first because this will be in the way. We'll start at this top corner. Trying to keep everything on the screen. And I'm literally just running a bead of glue along where the frame meets the background. And laying that jute down. And that's going to cover up any yucky part that I don't want anybody to see, where the frame is made incorrectly. Shannon said Macy is a three-ager. A three-ager. A teenager who's 3. She's got that. Another bead of glue around the corner. Like I said earlier, this is the easiest way for me to cover up any discrepancies in the surface. It adds a little character to it too. Move my jute over here. Touch my mouse. I'm almost finished, you guys. I really appreciate y'all hanging out with me tonight and chit-chatting. Mark's been working on doing the tallies for the drawing, so it won't be but just a few minutes after I get finished with this live, and then I'll be able to hop back on. Thank you, Joan. I'll be able to hop back on and tell you guys who the winner of the drawing is. Put a little bit more glue right there. Wipe off the extra glue, 2 more sides. I think I can do this whole side all at one time. This is going to be so cute. So remember, whoever wins the drawing tonight can choose this or the heart project from earlier today. Which I'm telling you, the heart project, too cute. I did when I went to Dollar Tree today while Mark was at Walmart. They did not have any more of those hearts. So I've got orders for the 2 that I still have, so I can fill those orders, but I can't take any more orders right now until I find more product to use. You guys can't see this side as well. Almost there. Okay, one more little spot and I'll be finished with this. We'll have to turn it up some. Click it. Okay, glue my bow on, and then we will be finished. It goes right smack in the middle there. You hold it down for a second. You guys, this is so cute. And I might want to hang this in my kitchen. Just kidding. I really want to give it away. In my new kitchen, I really only have one little tiny wall to hang something on. Okay, trim this up a little bit. All right, here we go. Ta-da! Isn't that super cute. You know what? I will put a tad bit of glue under 2 of these beads just so it won't clang around. They'll kind of be stationary. And that's it. I'm glad. Oh, okay. How many did you get, Joan? Did Tullahoma have a lot of them? Okay, there it is, you guys. So we will be back in a few minutes. Give me just long enough. Give me just long enough to tally up all of the comments, and I'll be back live. So maybe 10 minutes or so. And thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, Joan. Hopefully you win, Jennifer. But I'll be back in a few minutes with the drawing. I'll pull somebody's name out of a bowl, and if it's a Raider, I promise you it is not rigged. Um, Thank you, Angie. Okay. All right. Thank you, Joan. I'll let you know if I need any. Hey, Amanda, you caught me right at the end. This is the completed project, and I'm doing a drawing in just a few minutes. I'll come back live, and that is your name will go in the drawing for commenting. So if you want to drop a comment, sprinkle this onto your page, sprinkle the video, then come back here and tell me you sprinkled, then you still have time to get into the drawing. But we'll be back in about 10 minutes with the drawing. The drawing will be for this or for the heart project from earlier. Okay? So I will see you guys in just a few. Thank you, Heather. Hey, Teresa. You caught me right at the end too, but thank you for sprinkling, Teresa. Okay, I'll be back in about 10 minutes, you guys. See you in a few. Bye.